Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to be here talking to you guys about some books that I've bought recently. Y'all know I love a little haul, okay? Consumerism, but like most of these books are from independent bookstores, so I literally don't even feel bad. Also, I've been addicted to my Kindle recently, so I also have some books to share that I bought on my Kindle. So many things, but before we get into the haul, if you're noticing, oh my god, Pretty Girls, I love that book by Karen Slaughter. That's Haley's favorite book. What are we talking about? And this adorable little coquette graphic. What are we saying? What are we doing? It looks so cute with her little bow necklace. I would like to be a cute little coquette girl and get this in a baby tee, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a sweatshirt like Haley. Well, I have new merch, if you didn't know. And this is one of the things. You can also get the same graphic on a tote bag to carry all your books, or a mug to be cute and coquette drinking your little tea. Or you can get my Read a Book and Go to Therapy merch, or my Read a Book and Go to Therapy Pride merch. It will all be linked down below in my bonfire shop. It's literally probably like right here, so you can shop that. Also, if you wanted to shop the merch, you could obviously support me and you get something in return, because my monetization has been limited because I choose to speak on topics like misogyny and horror, and I've seen horror / extreme horror videos where their monetization is not affected, but me calling out the issues in the genre, apparently my monetization is affected. So go figure. If you would like to support me in any way, thank you. Shop the merch and support me if you wish. Thank you guys for being here and watching all the very kind, supportive comments on my vlog where I did talk about the extreme horror feelings that I've been having. Thank you so much. I just absolutely loved reading those comments. Some of them were giving a little condescending. Some of them were giving, oh, we all knew before you what you were going through. Okay, but to the people who were very kind and very receptive and saying that they were just like very happy and proud of me for kind of progressing and editing my reviews and opinions on extreme horror, thank you so much for the kind words and giving me the space to do that. I really do appreciate it. You know what? Hell yeah. Even the condescension. Like, you know what? You probably have a little bit of a right to be condescending. Thank you. Thank you for watching that and not just like skipping through it. Because me, if I saw myself yapping about something that I didn't give a fuck about, that I didn't click on this video for this dumbass little rant, I would have said, you know, I would have skipped right through it. So if you sat there and heard me out, thank you. And now let's go ahead and get into the haul. I think I'll do half of the physical books, then we'll take an intermission and go through my Kindle books, and then we'll do the other half of the physical books. Like I mentioned, most of these books are from indie bookstores. I've been doing little day trips to like little towns around Texas. I love my indie bookstores in Austin, and quite a few of these are from indie bookstores around Austin, but I've also been liking like a cute little getaway to a little Texas town. Some of my favorites that we've been to are Round Top. They have really great antiquing and like vintage shopping there, and Lockhart. I absolutely adore Lockhart, Texas. For some reason, it's like the smallest little town ever. You can walk around the town square in literally 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. And for some reason, they have like 4 or 5 independent bookstores on this little tiny square, and it's like gay as fuck. Like, I don't know why all the gays just like migrated to Lockhart, but I'm literally obsessed with it. I felt very at home there. I felt very welcome. So if you are in Lockhart, Texas, fucking shout out to you. And a lot of these books are from those indie bookstores in that little town. So very excited to share all of these with you. I also find that indie bookstores have so much more of a niche selection. There is one indie in Lockhart specifically that has all horror books, including like really fun, nostalgic, vintage like paperbacks from Hell and Fear Street and Goosebumps, which y'all know I love. So go support your local indie. So that first store that I mentioned is called Haunt Happy Books. Thanks for the bookmark. It's literally so cute. And it's in the basement of a pizza shop. It's so iconic. And the first one I got was the new Maureen Kilmer called Hex Education. I loved Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer. It's very like campy, fun, summery horror, and Hex Education has the same vibe. It's about this ordinary suburban mother. I think she's a real estate agent, yeah. But she has an edge over the other women in the neighborhood. She's a witch. And no one knows, except for her estranged ex-coven members, Katrina and Alicia, who were all like besties in college. But suddenly their magic is going out of control, and it's increasingly difficult to hide their powers and their past. They need to figure out a way to harness their powers before they find out if polite society still burns witches. So like very campy and fun. 3 suburban women are in a little coven and they're just gonna get into shit. I think it's just gonna be fun, no thoughts, head empty horror. If you want to dip your toes into horror, or you like light horror that's not really scary, I highly suggest Maureen Kilmer. I feel like it's good intro horror for people who like domestic thrillers and rich people drama. You'll really like it. It's kind of in between like a Liv Constantine, Lisa Jewell kind of book and a Grady Hendrix kind of book. I also got this one based on the shop owner's recommendation. That is The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw. I didn't love the other book that I read from Cassandra Khaw. I think I might have read like a short story or something that I liked, but I remember Nothing But Blackened Teeth I really didn't like. However, this is her newer novella and the shop owner was like obsessed. He was like really wanting me to give it a shot, so I am going to. It says, you may think you know how the fairy tale goes. A mermaid comes to shore and weds the prince, but what the fables forget is that mermaids have teeth, and now her daughters have devoured the kingdom and burned it to ashes. On the run, the mermaid is joined by a mysterious doctor with a darkness of their own. Deep in the eerie forest, the pair stumble upon a village of ageless children who thirst for blood and 3 saints who control them. The mermaid and the doctor must embrace the cruelest parts of their true natures to survive. So this is going to be like a dark fairy tale kind of situation. That synopsis sounds totally batshit insane. It's like I totally get it, but also like what? So we will see. I like mermaids though, and that gives kind of summer. So I don't know. Could be good. I also have Brainworms by Alison Rumfitt. Oh, yeah. Are we seeing this cover? I'm obsessed. This sounds so good. And now I can do an Alison Rumfitt taste test. I would love to do that because I have her other book, Tell Me I'm Worthless, on deck. So it's just the excuse that I needed. I have 2 books by her now and we can do a little taste test. And this book is about a office building that gets bombed by a TERF, which if you don't know what a TERF is, it's basically like a radical feminist who is super transphobic and does not include trans women in their definition of feminism, which I think is absolutely fucking disgusting. Think JK Rowling kind of vibes, okay? We hate them. In the midst of this carnage, our main character is pushing everyone away. That is until she meets Vanya, mysterious, beautiful, terrifying Vanya, and their relationship threatens to tear them both apart at the seams. Once our main character starts digging into who Vanya is, she unearths a sinister, depraved conspiracy with roots that go deeper than she ever imagined. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the type of queer horror that I like, where it's like scary on the surface in the horror metaphor, but obviously because it's a metaphor, it has like that layer of deeper meaning. My only issue is I hate having to work for the meaning. So I hope this just washes over me and I get it immediately. I hate when I have to like put the pieces together, you know what I mean? So we will see. Taste test incoming. And the last book that I got from this little bookstore is Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. I cannot wait to read this. Look at the red sprayed edges. Like, I am obsessed with this already. Paul Tremblay has been kind of hit or miss for me, I'm not gonna lie, but I loved Cabin at the End of the World, so hopefully I'll like this one too. I also love the 90s setting and the horror movie theming, so that will just lend to my enjoyment. Like I said, it takes place in the 90s. A group of young filmmakers spend 4 weeks making horror movie, a notorious disturbing art house horror flick. But the weird part is that only 3 of the film's scenes were ever released to the public. However, the movie has a rabid fan base, and 30 years later, Hollywood is pushing for a big budget reboot. The man who played the thin kid is the only surviving cast member, and he remembers all too well the secrets buried in the original screenplay, the bizarre events that happened while filming, and the dangerous crossed lines on set that resulted in tragedy. As the memories flood back in, boundaries between reality and film, past and present, blur. But he's going to help remake the film, even if it means navigating a world of cynical producers, egomaniac directors, and surreal fan conventions. Demons of the past be damned. I just think that sounds incredible. It's kind of giving me Night Film by Marisha Pessl, which is one of my favorite books of all time, meets like, oh my god, Tribesman maybe by Adam Cesare, which I haven't read that, but it sounds like a very similar premise, so really excited for it. And I have another horror book that was sent to me by Clash Books. Thank you so much to the publisher for sending me The Body Harvest by J.D. Seidlinger. I loved Anybody Home by the same author. It was one of my favorite books of last year. So they sent me the new release from J.D. Seidlinger. I literally have been obsessed with this author, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I got his new release here. So these 2 people, Will and Olivia, meet at a grief group and bond over their own brokenness. They also both have a peculiar hobby. They seek out sickness. They both feel most comfortable in their body when they have flu and fever. They become virus chasers, finding confidence in their ability to conquer every affliction that they come across. And they soon discover an online community of chasers called The Source, and discover that their hobby isn't all that niche. And then things that go from there. I feel like this is kind of a long and detailed synopsis, but all I want to know is like that these 2 weird people are finding some kind of worth in themselves by overcoming viruses. That is such a unique and interesting premise for a horror book, and I loved the writing style from Anybody Home, so I'm hoping there's a similar weirdness to The Body Harvest. Next up, we have a book that my best friend got me for my birthday. She had no clue. She was like, I don't know what kind of book you get a girl who seemingly has every book on the face of the planet, but she managed to find something that I do not have, and that is Black Widows by Kate Quinn. I read The Clinic with my Pretty Girl book club earlier this year, and I really enjoyed Kate Quinn's writing in that book. So I'm hoping I'll like Black Widows as well. Some people in the book club discussion said they liked Black Widows better than The Clinic, people that had read multiple from Kate Quinn, so definitely encouraged me to read it. This is about a polygamous kind of like cult, and the like main guy, like the polygamist king or whatever, is dead, and his 3 wives are accused of his murder. So we were trying to figure out who did it. Next up, y'all, this one's weird. Okay, this one's random, this one's weird. I don't know what this is gonna be or if it's gonna be good, but I saw it on the TikTok shop, okay? I got by the TikTok shop. Me being like, oh my god, all these books are from indie bookstores. And most of them are, but this is from the TikTok shop, unfortunately. I have Thursdays with You, a collection of sapphic poetry by Emma F. Payne. I love the cover, okay? The little strawberries drew me in. I love queer poetry, so that also drew me in. And I saw like a TikTok of just like little things from this book, and I was like, I don't know, that's just very cute. It kind of seems like Instagram poetry, but I kind of like that, I'm not gonna lie. You know? So this might be corny. It's fucking Pride Month. Like, let me read my sapphic poetry and move on. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about this next book. One of my favorite books of all time that I discovered last year is Bad Dolls by Rachel Harrison. and I was vexed because I could not get a physical copy of this here in the States. One of my amazing viewers and subscribers to this channel was so kind enough to ship me a copy from the UK. Thank you so much to Sarah and Frankie, her adorable little cat, for sending me this book. She was like, oh my god, I read it before I sent it to you and I absolutely loved it. So I love that we like have this little shared copy. It's like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but Sisterhood of the Traveling Rachel Harrison book. I'm absolutely obsessed with this book. If you don't know, it is 4 short horror stories that have really amazing metaphorical commentary on just like common things that women deal with. It is heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, horrifying, perfect, and also perfect. Thank you again, Sarah, for sending me this. I'm so obsessed with the fact that I have a physical copy. I cannot wait to reread this. And also Sarah sent me some like British snacks, and I fucking love British snacks. I love everything about the UK. If y'all know anything about me, you probably know that. She also sent me crystals. Like, y'all, sweetest ever. Thank you so much. Literally would die for you. Let's get into some new releases. First up, we have The Dare by Natasha Preston. I know I always give Natasha Preston books like 1 and 2 stars, but here's the thing. Her last release, that was like the one that was set on Halloween, The Haunting or whatever, I actually low-key love that book. I kind of thought she slayed with that one. So maybe The Dare will be continuing on Miss Natasha's upward trajectory for me. It says, would you accept the dare? High school seniors must perform a prank as a rite of passage, a dare, if you will. And the dares start out simple, egging houses, throwing balloons filled with glitter at each other, and letting chickens loose into the school halls. But this is not child's play. Accepting a dare means you could be expelled, arrested, or worse. And no one wants to back down from a dare, but saying yes has its consequences. Okay, like Natasha Preston synopsis descriptions always eat, but we'll see. I also have The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry, and one of my favorite books that I've read this year so far is another Christina Henry release, Good Girls Don't Die, which also has like horror movie-esque tropes and themes, so I cannot wait to get into this one. It's going to be going in the same vlog as the Paul Tremblay book, and in this book we're going to be following a single mother working in a gothic mansion of a reclusive horror director, and she stumbles upon some terrifying secrets in the building. She's like this big horror movie buff, so she's like super interested in what's going on, and the more that she looks into the mystery, the more things seem to go off the rails. And the other book I'll be including in that vlog is How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by Craig DeLuey. I've only read one book previously from Craig DeLuey. I believe it was Suffer the Children. I think this is by him. If it's not, maybe I'm dumb. But I think that book is by Craig DeLuey, and I was kind of like lukewarm on it, but I'm excited to see what he does in this new release. This is also about a famous horror movie director. Everyone loves him, all the actors are obsessed with him, and Hollywood needs him. He's making money hand over fist, but it's the 80s, and he's directing cheap slashers for audiences who crave only blood, not real art, and not real horror. And so his producer, who's just set on making money, refuses to fund any of the new ideas. We're also following Sally Priest, who dreams of being a final girl. So when Sally meets Max, this director, at his latest rap party, she sets out to impress him and prove her scream queen prowess. But when Max discovers an old camera that filmed a very real Hollywood horror, he knows he has to use this camera for his next movie. The only problem is it came with a cryptic warning, and sometimes it howls. By the time he discovers the true evil lying within the camera, he's already dead set on finishing the scariest movie ever put to film, and like it or not, it's Sally's time to shine as the final girl. This one seems like, I don't know, a little bit campier than Horror Movie and The House That Horror Built, but obviously same vibes. I love that we have one set in present day, one set in the 90s, one set in the 80s. I feel like it'll give a good enough variety for just like my vlogging needs, reading all of these back to back. So excited to compare them and give you guys my thoughts. Next up, you've probably heard me talk about this one if you watched my last thriller vlog, and that is What Happened to the Bennetts by Lisa Scottoline. I am so happy that one of my patrons, sweet Jenna, convinced me to pick this one up because I am obsessed with it. This is my favorite thriller of the year, period, end of story. You have to go read it. If you want my like full thoughts, go watch the vlog. But my pitch for this book is basically the worst thing that could happen to a family happens to them, and they have to go into witness protection. But while they're in witness protection, feeling absolutely powerless, they start to realize that maybe the people running the program aren't totally looking out for their interests, and instead maybe the FBI has their own interests at heart. So the patriarch of the family goes out on a mission to really look out for his family. It reads super fast, super emotionally intense. If you like S.A. Cosby, you will like this book. Next up, I have a random thriller given to me by my mother that I literally know nothing about. This is signed by the author. I believe she knows the author through like the author's cousins or something. I don't know. My mom just gave me this book and she was like, you should read this because I know the author, and they're like, cool. And I'm like, okay, mom. So this is The Unbelieved by Vicky Petritis. And thank you so much to Vicky for signing this copy for me. So this is an Australian thriller. It takes place in Melbourne, and we're following a detective who has a case that goes catastrophically wrong. In order to escape the guilt and the haunting memories from it, she requests a transfer to the quiet town she grew up in. But there are some things that you can't run from in a small town. A month into her new life, she is targeted by a would-be rapist and realizes why there have been no convictions following a spate of similar sexual attacks in the surrounding district. The male witnesses in the pub back her attacker, and even her boss does not believe her. So the women of the town are scared into silence, knowing that the law is not on their side. The nightmare has followed her home. Oh my God. This sounds like really intense and kind of like Karen Slaughter-y. Maybe this will be like Australian Karen Slaughter. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. Next up, we have the books that I got from the Target like buy one get one sale. It was like buy one get the next one 50% off. So I got a few that all, you know, matched up together. And I was thinking, okay, so if I like buy one, I'm gonna get another one 50% off. If I buy another, I'm gonna get another one 50% off. I scanned the first one and tell me why all the rest of the ones that I scanned were 50% off. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a glitch at my self-checkout or what, but I'm gonna take it. Okay, I'm gonna take it and run with it. So the first one that I picked up is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Girl, I don't know. Everyone just told me to read this book. And since I'm trying to get into my fantasy era, maybe I will. And maybe I'll vlog it. And maybe I'll have thoughts about it. And we'll just have to discuss it. I don't know. It's like romantasy. It'll be fun. I don't know. Next up, I finally bought this thriller that I've been eyeing literally every single time I've been in Target, and that is The Truth About the Accident by Nicole Trope. And oh my God, this sounds so good. So basically this woman is like the perfect wife, and everything is as it is normally. They just have like a very typical suburban life until her husband gets in an accident and all of their secrets start unraveling. And I just love the way that it describes it on the back. It says, my husband was hit by a car in the pouring rain and nobody saw what happened, but the police are asking questions. Do they know about the argument that I sent on that? Do they know about the terrible argument we had that day? Do they know about the text message I sent? Do they know I need him to delete everything? Like, what is going on here? I don't know, but I'm about to find out, and it's about to be tea. I also got Within Arm's Reach by Anne Napolitano, and this is supposed to be like a deep dive into family trauma, generational trauma. It's about like a family who doesn't address things, and everything is like very hush hush. This is also the author of Hello Beautiful, and I'm literally going to an event tomorrow to promote Hello Beautiful, so very excited to get into this author's writing. Also picked up a couple fun summer romances. The first one is The Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. The first Carly Fortune book that I read every summer after, I absolutely loved. It was my favorite romance of 2022, but her 2023 release did not work out for me, so I'm hoping it'll be a little bit better for the summer summer will be different. An author that has really never missed for me is Emily Henry. So I have a funny story here. I actually was supposed to read this one on vacation, the vacation that I just got back from, but I forgot it. I literally forgot it. It was sitting in a stack of books that I was like, oh, I gotta fill my haul when I get back home. And so I did not bring it on my trip. So I will have to figure out another time to read this, but I'm hearing such amazing things about it. I can't wait to get into it. Okay, we're about halfway through. Let's take a little detour to books that I've gotten on my Kindle recently, including The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I'm actually about 25% of the way through this one. It's a little bit slow, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of annoying that it's dragging a bit, but I do usually like Lucy Foley books, even if they're not my favorites of all time. I just feel like they're such reliable locked door mysteries. This one is about this like beautiful, iconic, wellness-oriented kind of B&B getaway situation. And there is a lot of tension between the rich newcomers to the B&B and also the locals who live in this like beautiful scenery where it was built. And the first night after their soft opening, someone ends up dead. So throughout the course of the book, we're trying to figure out who was killed and who killed them. Very, very typical Lucy Foley structure. I'm intrigued, but it's definitely going very slow. So I don't know. I've been obsessed with reading on my Kindle, so I know if something's going slow on my Kindle, it's going real slow. You know what I mean? I also have the new Shanora Williams book, The Bitter Truth, which this is giving so summery. I literally cannot wait to get into it. I have no clue what this book is about. I want to go into this book completely blind because when I went into, oh my God, The Perfect Ruin, completely blind, it was everything to me. I was on a roller coaster ride from the first page. So I'm hoping that this is the same because I didn't love her newest release. Oh my God, what was that called? The Other Mistress. Yeah, I didn't love this one, but The Perfect Ruin, I was absolutely obsessed with. So hopefully The Bitter Truth is more aligned with that. I also have The Final Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. This is the third and final book in the Slaughter trilogy where we are following Varias Caras. I literally love this villain, not only because I like to say that name with an accent that I don't have, but also because I love a series where we're following a villain. It feels like my favorite slasher series that just go on and on and on. You know, there's a million Freddy movies, there's a million Jason movies, and it's because we're following the villain. The people in the book are expendable. Just like the campers in all of the Friday the 13th movies, they're literally expendable because I care about the masked cannibalistic villain with some type of weird like mommy trauma. And that is who this slasher villain is in the Slaughter series. If you haven't read them, you gotta start with Camp Slaughter, which is so iconic. When I read it, it got me out of a reading slump. And aside from one little weird comment about asexuality that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I love that book. It was such a slay. The second one was a little bit longer, a little tiny bit slower, but it was set on Halloween, so I was down for the vibes, and it was the same amazing slasher. The third installation, The Final Slaughter, is that same longer length as the second book, but I'm hoping it will be just as fun as the previous two. And the last exciting book that I got on my Kindle recently is Taste Like Candy 2 by Ivy Tholen. This is the follow-up to Taste Like Candy, which was a super fun, straightforward amusement park thriller that I read 2 summers ago, I believe, when I was first starting to get obsessed with like carnival and amusement park slashers. I really, really liked Taste Like Candy, so I can't wait for the follow-up. Jumping back into physical books, we actually have my book club pick for this month, and that is One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I'm so excited to get into this one. I haven't read a Ruth Ware in a little while, I feel like. And this one sounds too good, okay? It's about 2 people that go on a reality dating show called One Perfect Couple, and I literally just finished watching the 2nd season of Perfect Match, so I feel like this is the perfect book for me to read. How many times can I say perfect in this segment of the video? But not long after they arrive on the deserted island where they're going to be filming the show, things start to go wrong. After the first challenge leaves everyone rattled and angry, a storm takes matters from bad to worse. Cut off from the mainland by miles of ocean and deprived of their phones, the group of reality stars must band together for survival. So it's like reality TV, dating, thriller, thriller, survival horror. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be obsessed with this, and I'm so excited for my book club discussion. If you want to join us talking about this June pick, we do our live discussions at the beginning of the next month, so first week of July we'll be discussing this. You still have time to read along with us and join my Patreon in time for the discussion if you want. And I got One Perfect Couple from Book of the Month, so I might as well just go through the other Book of the Month picks that I've gotten over the past few months. I have the new Simone St. James, which is Murder Road. I don't really like Simone St. James' writing style, but I did hear that this is different than her other books. I feel like her previous books have been really formulaic and the formula wasn't working for me, but this one is different, okay? We are following April and Eddie, who are driving in these deserted roads looking for a small resort town to spend their honeymoon when they take a wrong turn and spot what appears to be a lone hitchhiker. They stop to help, but not long after the woman gets into their car, they see blood seeping from her jacket and a truck barreling down after them. And things go from there. I love that it's set in the 90s. I love that it sounds a little bit more fast and exciting than her previous releases. I don't want a historical plot line. I don't want a dual timeline from the fucking 1940s, okay? I want a 90s slasher with a weird hitchhiker. So I hope that's what I'm gonna get here. I also have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is her new release for this summer. I haven't read any of her previous work, and I know some of y'all have been asking for an Abby Jimenez taste test. I might do that. I don't know. Reading a lot of romances back to back, usually it's not my thing. Usually that will put me into a slump. I love the occasional romance to break up the darkness, but just back to back like that, sometimes it just really wrecks my reading speed, like the little rhythm I get into with my books. So we'll have to see. I will probably, if I vlog that, read them over the course of a month. So we might take a little while to get into the Abby Jimenez taste test. Just know it's not going to be close. So you're gonna have to subscribe to see when that video comes out. I also have a book from Book of the Month that I've been hearing amazing things about from people who have really similar taste to me, so I'm really excited to read it. And that is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. It says, when Lauren returns home to her flat in London late one night, she's greeted at the door by her husband, Michael. There's only one problem. She's not married, and she's literally never seen this man before in her life. But according to her friends, her much improved decor and the photos on her phone, they've been together for years. As Lauren tries to puzzle out how she could possibly be married to someone she can't remember meeting, Michael goes to the attic to change a light bulb and disappears. In his place, a new man emerges and a new altered life reforms around her. Realizing that her attic is creating an infinite supply of husbands, Lauren confronts the question, if swapping lives is as easy as changing a light bulb, how do you know when you've taken the right path? When do you stop trying to do better and just start living? Oh, it sounds so original. I love this little magical realism thing. I love the messing with time, like time loops. Y'all know I love that. And it sounds like it's gonna have a really great feminist skewed commentary. So I feel like this one's gonna be a winner for me. Of course, we have the new release from Catherine Center, who I absolutely adore. This is The Rom-Commers. And this is like a don't meet your heroes kind of romance about a girl who dreams of, I think she's like a screenplay writer, like a screenwriter. Yes, she wants to be a screenwriter. And she's doing well, but she's not doing anything big. But her all-time favorite screenwriter, she would love to have him as a mentor. She wins a contest to have him work with her on one of her scripts. But when she meets him, they get off on the wrong foot. They actually don't really like each other, don't really get along. But of course, because we know it's a fluffy little feel-good romance, they're gonna come around on each other and hopefully work together, not only in the screenplay, but also in the bedroom. And the last book that I have to show you from Book of the Month is Honey. This is by Isabel Bonta, and literally, I'm obsessed with this cover. I love it so much. It's described as an addictive coming-of-age story that follows the meteoric rise of pop star Amber Young as she navigates fame and self-discovery in the late 90s and early 2000s. Amber Young is from girl group Cloud9. So she moves to LA to escape her small town, So we follow her through her little band phase into her solo career and all of the different things that come in between. It sounds like it's kind of giving like Daisy Jones and the Six, but with a Britney Spears-esque kind of pop star. I got this one on audio because I'm hoping it's going to be similar to the Daisy Jones audiobook, which was phenomenal. I would love to hear some music, especially some like bebopping, late 90s, early 2000s girl band music. We will see how it goes. And the last group of books I have to show you were kindly sent to me from Aardvark Book Club. If you don't know about Aardvark, they are an amazing monthly book service where you can get a brand new hardcover release of any book of your favorite genre delivered right to your door. I love, love, love the Aardvark book picks, and with my code, you can get your first Aardvark for only $4. Free shipping, no strings attached, nothing crazy. It's literally $4. You pay the $4. They give you a new release hardcover book that you get to pick out of their selections for the month. So these are some of these selections. And this isn't a sponsorship or anything. They literally just sent me free books and gave me the code. So it benefits you, it benefits me. We all win here. First, they sent me Where You End by Abbott Collar. It says, when 22-year-old Cat Bird wakes up from a coma, she sees her mirror image, Jude, her twin sister. Cat remembers nothing except for Jude's face and name. As she tries to relearn her history and identity, she trusts Jude will provide all of the answers, but she begins to fear in the months that progress that Jude has been lying to her. It seems like culty, creepy, and kind of like Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I'm so excited to read this. Next up, we have The House of Last Resort by Christopher Golden, and I love this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous. It also sounds good too. It's a haunted house kind of book, but it sounds like a summery haunted house vibe. If that exists, it's this, because this is about this crumbling house in the beautiful Italian countryside, and this American couple gets it at a massive, massive deal. So they decide to move to this beautiful, idyllic place. Seems like a dream until weird things start happening around the house. I feel like haunted house books are only for October and like spooky season, but this one being set in the gorgeous Italian countryside, I feel like I could get away with reading it this summer, get my little dose of spookiness, and not lose the summer vibes. And finally, they sent over The Clinic by Kate Quinn, which I talked about reading this for my book club a little bit earlier. So I already had a copy of this book. So the good news is I will be giving this one away. If you made it to the end of the haul, you can comment down below. Just leave your Instagram in the comment, and I will do a random comment generator, and whatever Instagram @ comes up first in the random comment generator, I will DM you and say, hey, you won The Clinic by Kate Quinn, and I will just ship it to you. So casual little giveaway for you. I really, really liked this book. It's a thriller about a girl whose sister goes to this rehab center and disappears. So she ends up breaking into the clinic to see all of the shady things that are going on there, and if she can expose them, but really just discover what happened to her sister, because they had a very fraught relationship and there's a lot of interesting family dynamics there. Really interesting addiction things, commentary in here, which I don't necessarily love or agree with, but it's interesting. Interesting mental health rep, a lot of twists. It's a crazy read. So if you haven't read it yet and you want it, let me know down below. Leave your Insta. So those are all of the books I have to show you for today's haul. Thank you guys so, so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to go down below and check out the merch, check out Aardvark, join my book club, all the things. And of course, don't forget to read a book and go to therapy this week. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!